I do not own the rights to this music.
Hey, hallelujah. We're going to sing some of the songs that our parents and our grandparents used to sing. That's born us over. We come this far by faith. Come on, sing it with me. Come on, we come this far. Come on, and we're leaning, and we are trusting God. Hallelujah. You never, that's why we're singing. Oh, turn around. We've come this far. I know that we've come, and we are leaning.
Hello, and welcome to Sunday School Summary with Brother Ron. Sunday School lesson for Sunday, January the 7th, 2024. Happy New Year. Our reference material for the Sunday School Summary is based upon the International Sunday School Lesson Series as published by the Sunday School Publishing Board. We are discussing the Faith That Pleases God lesson series as the title of the winter lesson series, and it is categorized into 3 units or groups of lessons, and we are talking about Unit 2, Learning About Faith. The title of our first lesson in the Unit 2 Winter 2023-24 lesson series is titled Not Seeing But Believing, or Faith and Righteousness, because we have to have faith in that which we cannot see in order to please God and be considered righteous with God. Our key verse comes from Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, and it reads, "Faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." The title of today's lesson, Not Seeing But Believing, from the book of Hebrews. Now, the author of Hebrews is not conclusive, even though it has been attributed to the Apostle Paul. The audience for the writer were Jewish Christians who were wavering in their faith and considered reverting back to Judaism due to the persecution which they were experiencing, which brings us to today's lesson. There are 3 summary lesson points for today. Faith explains from Hebrews chapter 11, verses 1 through 3. Faith exemplified from Hebrews chapter 11, verses 4, 7a, 8, 17 through 18, 20 to 23, and verse 32. Faith rewarded, and that's from Hebrews chapter 11, verses 39 through 40. The passages for the lesson today revolve around the key words of faith, hope, and righteousness. Now, we know that faith is the complete trust, assurance, belief, or confidence in God. It is the faith of the Jewish patriarchs, beginning with Abraham, in today's lesson. Hope is an expectation, anticipation of things to come based on trust or faith in God. And Hebrews instruct us that our hope as Christians is salvation through Jesus Christ based on faith. Righteousness is the quality of state of being morally correct and justifiable. It can be considered synonymous with rightness or being upright and in harmony with God's will. We see the sacrificial act of Abraham as righteous and pleasing to God in today's lesson. Seeking the first summary point is faith explained. And in these passages, Hebrews instructs us or defines faith for us and says that faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. So we cannot see faith, but we know that it exists because we believe in God. This is what the ancients were commended for, or our ancestors were commended for their faith. And even today, we as African Americans, we commend our ancestors for their faith that allowed us to arrive at this point in time. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. So God took nothing and made the universe. And the evidence is the universe, and our faith that he did it is our belief in God. Faith exemplified from Hebrews chapter 11, verses 4, 7, 8, 17 through 18, 20 through 23. And in these passages, Hebrew provides the faith hall of fame, if you will, of Old Testament figures and examples of their faith in action, and starts off with Abel, who brought a better offering than Cain did, and he was commended for his faith and considered righteous when God spoke of his offerings. Also, we talk about Noah, who's born not yet seen, and he's in obedience and fearful of God. He built an ark to save his family and future generations. And by faith, Abraham was to sacrifice his own son, but God had a ram in the bush or thicket. So these are examples of the patriarchs' reliance on their faith and them being rewarded and considered pleasing in God's sight or righteous with God. Our third and final summary point is faith rewarded, and that is from Hebrews chapter 11, verses 39 and 40. And these passages says that these ancestors or Jewish patriarchs were all commended for their faith, yet none of them received what had been promised, since God had planned something better for us, so that only together with us would they be made perfect, so that we are still sharing in this hope for our eternal blessings and our being at peace with God, and also being at rest with God in a future life. So he says that all of these were commended for their faith, yet they had not received the faith in their lifetimes, because God's fruition has not come to pass, because we can share in that fruition with our ancestors when we all get to heaven. This is Brother Ron with the Sunday School Summary for Sunday, January the 7th, 2024. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you next Sunday for another edition of Sunday School Summary with Brother Ron.